already, but it is. Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins. Trustee Byrd. Here. Trustee Canada. Here. Trustee Hershey. Here. Trustee Jenkins. Trustee May. Here. Trustee Hayward. Here. Trustee O'Malley.
Here.
Trustee McInnes.
Here, proudly wearing our Austin P hats.
Trustee Rowe.
Thank you. We have a quorum. We are proudly wearing our Austin P hats, and that reason for that will become evident when we get to the campus spotlight. Trustees, please note there are items on your agenda that need to be adopted. Before I call for a vote, are there any items that should be extracted from the consent agenda? I move for the adoption of the agenda, including consent agenda items. Is there a second?
Second.
I move for adoption of the agenda, which include, has been seconded. Those in favor, approve by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The agenda is adopted. The minutes for the September 16th, 2022 board meeting were circulated in advance. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve minutes. Moved and seconded. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The minutes are approved. And at this time, I'd like to recognize David Bakari, who will introduce today's campus spotlight.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce Vice President and Athletics Director Gerald Harrison, who has been at Austin P for 4 years now. And under his leadership, he has brought our athletics programs to new heights, or as they say in athletics, they are leveling up. One thing about Mr. Harrison is that he is innovative and aggressive under his direction. In the time that he's been here, we've won 10 championships. We have set new records in academic achievement for our student athletes. And with an innovative partnership with Sabertooth Sports and Entertainment, I have begun setting revenue records in the department as well. So very proud to have him here. He will share information about the future direction of athletics.
Thank you. It is always an honor to present in front of the board. I tweeted about it the first thing this morning. I woke up at 6, very excited to have this opportunity to share, because you know what? It's a great day to be a Gov and an incredible time to highlight athletics at Austin Peay State University. We've had great success. Dr. Licari mentioned the 10 championships since 2018. The highest GPA ever with a 3.42. Our graduation success rate is the highest we've had at 84%. Our APR is 984, and our federal graduation rate is 24% higher than the general student body. So our student athletes are getting it done. We have the highest number of student athletes we've ever had at Austin Peay State University. And the great thing about that, a record number of walk-on student athletes, those who are not here on scholarship, who chose to come to Austin Peay to participate in our 15 sports and/or cheer and dance. They represent over 15 states and some foreign countries. So it is a great time to be a Gov. In short, I always say fly to Gov, and it's important to do so because our brand is hot right now. Not just in a regional, we're no longer just a cute regional school. We are making a play on the national stage, and we want you to fly to Gov everywhere possible. It is my pleasure today to present our strategic plan, excellence. Our goal in this plan is to accelerate our bright future, not tomorrow, but accelerate our future today. Now join me as I walk you through our relentless pursuit of excellence and talk about what's next for Austin Peay Athletics. This is our strategic plan. This is our steering committee. The strategic plan committee and working groups are comprised of a cross section of Stashville residents, community leaders, alumni, active donors, students, faculty, and staff. Why do we include so many people as we went through this process? Because to accelerate our future, we need all of Stashville invested in what we're doing. Let's get started. The mission of Austin Peay Athletics to facilitate a culture of excellence that equips and empowers our girls for lifelong success. Our goal is to be clear and concise. Our plan marries well with the university's goal of creating an awesome culture while setting up our students for lifelong success. And that's the same thing that we want to do for our student athletes. The vision is an aggressive one: to be the premier mid-major Division I athletics department by providing our student athletes with an exceptional experience and a culture of excellence for all governors. Our vision is not to just be a mid-major program. We don't want to be the premier mid-major program in the state of Tennessee. We want to be the premier major program. Exceptional student athlete experiences, culture of excellence is bold, and it should be. Our core values: growth, and I'll go into all of these: growth, opportunity, victory, and synergy. Growth. We want to foster an environment of personal, academic, and professional growth and wellness that allows student athletes to pursue excellence in all aspects of their college experience. We talk about the total gov concept all the time. This core value speaks to that. We want to foster success in every aspect of their experience. And again, you see the words excellence and experience over and over again. There's no doubt of what our goal is. Opportunity. We want to provide transformational opportunities, equipping student athletes with opportunities and resources to positively transform their lives. Man, what a powerful word, powerful word. When you come to college, your life should be transformed. Our university does that, and our athletics department will do that too. Isn't that really what we're all about here? Victory. I love that. Experiencing victory in competition by consistently competing for championships, experiencing victory in the classroom by excelling academically while preparing our girls to experience victory in life and thrive after Austin Peay State University. The word victory is important. Championships are important. The total gov concept is important. Our student athletes need to believe, our recruits need to believe, our staff must believe that everything we do, we can be victorious in it. Synergy. Collaborating and cultivating partnerships with campus and community leaders to increase Austin Peay State University's athletics visibility. This is the fuel to getting the job done. We're not always going to be in agreement, but as a board, as an athletics department, as a university, we always must be in alignment to make our vision a reality. Academy, athletics, and the community working together to provide the best opportunity for success. The priorities of our plan: financial sustainability and revenue generation. Number 2, communication, advertising, and branding. Number 3, employee retention. 4, diversity, equity, and inclusion. 5, the student athlete experience and retention. All that sounds great. This is the bones of our plan. But now it's time to talk about the meat. It's time to talk about how we're going to get this done. Financial sustainability and revenue generation. Our goal statement to create unique opportunities through increased revenue and resources to enhance our student athlete experience. Objective 1, increase communication with all former student athletes. We can't lose them once they leave. We have a challenge. There was a period of time where Austin Peay athletics was not what it is now. The experience was not what it is now. And we lost some of those after football, for example, with non-scholarship. They didn't have a great experience. And we're busting our behinds to try to get those folks back. But the same can be said for a lot of our different sports that just came online of late. So we got to work on trying to get those folks back. Increase and improve revenue generation avenues. We want to increase our net revenues each year by 5%. And that's a challenge for us. We're a smaller market, but it can be done. Our relationship with SS&E, Sabertooth Sports and Entertainment, and the Nashville Predators has shown us that we can do this, and by reaching different avenues that we never even thought about. And so we're really excited about that. Increase philanthropy, current corporate sponsors, and hospitality revenues by 5% as well. Philanthropy, we got to ask for more money. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. So be prepared. I'm coming to your house. Current corporate sponsors, we've added. We pretty much got everything sponsored right now, but the restrooms, and I'm working on that too. Hospitality revenue, more premium areas. A large part of the benefit of moving to F&M Bank Arena, that there are gonna be more premium opportunities for our fans. What we've seen at Fatera Stadium, it's hard for us to sell section I, the general section in the east side. But man, every time we add a new premium area, whether it's the Buffalo Wild Wings end zone, or whether it's our suite levels, our club levels, people are knocking at the door. So we have to take advantage of that. Communication, advertising, and branding. The goal, to improve market share for key constituents and community partners by increasing brand awareness. How are we going to do it? Increase and retain our corporate partners, increase our social media and community engagement. Social media has been great for us. I call it embracing the free. We pay for the personnel to do it, but we don't have to pay to be on some of these platforms. And if you look at Skull Sparks, I believe it's called, that we have increased, our numbers are right up there with some major schools in our country, because people are following us on Twitter, they're following us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and some of the other stuff I don't have. So we are all excited about that. And then working also on community engagement. We got to increase and improve the advertising and signage for Austin Peay Athletics all around to grow our external brand. Some things you'll see for us, we use the state logo a lot. We debuted a new football helmet this year. We call it TriStar Tough, because we want to brand our university as a part of the great state of Tennessee, and that people don't know that. We don't want anybody else to think we're in Austin, Texas. We're going to keep advertising. We're going to keep flying our gov, and we're going to keep talking about our brand. Grow the Austin Peay Athletics brand by exemplifying our tradition. I talked a little bit about this yesterday. We want to fight song. We reintroduced that. All of the entryways to our stadium for our teams. The fight songs are part of that. Smash, bang, to victory. We want everybody to know that. There's another school in the state that got a popular fight song. Ours is going to be popular too. And we're really excited about that, and some unique traditions and stuff that we're just starting here at Austin Peay. Objective 5, maintain a successful NCAA Division I athletics program that strengthens the campus and community involvement. I've determined that this athletics department will not just live on the other side of Marion Street. We are a part of this university, and we want to be a part of every part of it. Enrollment management, we want to be a part of Brandon University. The more students that are here, the bigger the vitality of our campus, the better our Division I athletics department will be. And so we're going to be in. Successfully transition to the football subdivision. There's an opportunity there for us. As we learned this year, and we've learned since I've been here, the FCS has some limitations. If you want to be bold and aggressive, if you want to increase your revenues and things, we have to start looking at this move. Will this happen tomorrow? No. But as a plan, we're putting a plan together that's aggressive, that we think we can do that. And we've seen Kennesaw State do it, seen Jacksonville State do it, previous Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky have done it. There's a time where Austin Peay was thought of in that same breath with Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee State, and we did not take a bold and aggressive move. Waited, and now they're reaping the benefits from a revenue generation standpoint just from being there. And as we've proven in the competition, we can compete with all of them. So why not sit there and leave money on the table? I used this example previously. We played at the University of Alabama this year in football. We got a $600,000 check, and that's great. That's a great FCS check. Middle Tennessee State University is going to play them next year for 1.6. And the only difference is between they got a few more scholarships than we do. We can get that, and that will help fuel not just football, but the rest of our athletics department. Also, objective 7, start a women's lacrosse program, becoming the only Division I institution in our state to offer that sport. Now, what will that do? That opens our doors to a whole lot of students that will come on scholarship and come to walk on. Beach volleyball gave us a new opportunity, but that's a smaller sample size. This is about a roster between 30 and 40, and it will also help us with our Title IX plan. We just did a Title IX study, and it showed that we got some work to do. But if we put a plan in place that we add a larger sport like women's lacrosse, couple that with what we're talking about objective 6 with the football subdivision, we have built our future for a long time to come, far beyond the university centennial, but beyond that and going into the future. Okay. Employee retention, the goal statement, to provide an environment that promotes the recruitment and retention of employees in a competitive market. Maximize professional, objective one, maximize professional development opportunities for coaches and staff. We have to be unique. We can't afford to pay some of these salaries that are out there that people are targeting our staff with. Every day, I get to call Dr. Car and go, hey, somebody wants to hire this person. Somebody wants to hire this person. It's a constant thing. How are we going to keep them? By providing a unique environment where we build into them. We don't just want them to work for us. We want to build into them. Provide competitive salaries and merit raises as compared to other folks in the ASUN. Equip our coaches with the necessary resources to run a successful Division I program. We're well on our way to that. We are well on our way to that. Increase and retain athletic staff in areas that directly work with our student athletes. Training room, academics, mental health, strength and conditioning, and nutrition. Diversity and inclusion. To develop a diverse environment where people feel included, welcome, and treated fairly. This is anybody. This is not a race thing. This is not a gender thing. This is not a sexuality thing. This is wanting everybody to feel at home here on the campus of Austin Peay State University. How are we going to do that? Educate our student athletes and staff on the best DEI practices. Create equity across our sports. And we're well on our way there. Welcome new student athletes, freshmen and transfers, and international students. We have so many international students. That number took a little bit of a dip, but we're still carrying the flag for our university when it comes to international students. You adding women's lacrosse, growing our track program. We're going to do this. And the more our kids get to interact with other people that may not come from the same neighborhood, that may not look just like them, the better they are equipped for lifelong success. Student athlete retention, student athlete experience and retention. We'll provide opportunities and resources for student athletes to grow competitively, personally, and professionally. We want to upgrade our athletic facilities. We're doing that. We want to create a comprehensive plan to invest in the student athlete personal and professional growth. Can't be a one-trick pony. We have to do it all for our student athletes. That's what it's going to take to keep kids out of the transfer portal and to allow kids to want to come in to join with us from the transfer portal. Develop an ideal staff student athlete ratio to maximize our student athlete growth. This is an area we have to improve on. We have 360 some odd student athletes counting dance and cheer, and we have 4 full-time athletic trainers. The math's not good there. And we're working on that. We have 4 or 5 strength coaches. We have 360 something student athletes, and some of those are graduate assistants. They still got to go to class and things. So these are areas that we can work on that add to the student athlete experience and to help us retain our best and our brightest. I kind of ran through that. I know it probably doesn't feel like that for some people, but I kind of ran through that. But that is our strategic plan. Before I take questions, I would like to take the opportunity. I can't do this alone, and I have an outstanding staff, especially in our cabinet. The ones that are with me and get my crazy emails and text messages at all kind of morning. And I asked them to come. So Jordan Harmon, who's our deputy AD for, he does what we call it championship resources. Nyesha Campbell, who is Nyesha is our newest person. So she jumped into the circus. I work with Nyesha at Duke, but she's in charge of our student athlete welfare. She's our senior women's administrator. And she works with our human resources, our liaison human resources. And right now, I lead her campaign to raise money for some women's student athletes. And Emily Smith's a little down. She's an Auburn fan. But she's our chief of staff, and I call her the air traffic controller to keep me together and keep all of us running in the same direction. I just want to take a minute to thank them because they really had a lot to do with this plan and the success of Austin Peay athletics. With that said, all right. Any questions?
Gerald, I'll kick it off with one word. Wow. That's really impressive material. And I one question is, has the athletics department ever had a strategic plan kind of formulated in writing like that?
I don't think, not that I know of. I didn't see, there wasn't one left when I got here, and I'm not sure maybe the one previous to this.
just strikes me too, as you went through it, that if I'm a student, a prospective student athlete or a parent, I'm like, this is outstanding. And that's where I want my child to be. Got to help with recruiting, I would think too.
Oh, absolutely. We look forward to, once we're, putting everything together, finalize it all, putting it together in a binder, a book, or a presentation that our coaches will take out on the road recruiting. They've been given snippets of it already, but we want to get through the board meeting first, but we're really excited about the future of Austin P athletics.
Impressive work. I have two other quick questions I'll open up for my colleagues. One is, how much money does it cost generally to move from FCS to FBS? And the second is, with respect to lacrosse, I noticed that we would be the only team in Tennessee. So who are you playing? Your opponent?
Two great questions. The initial move, biggest part of the move would be in our scholarships, increasing from 63 full scholarships to 85. That will cost us around $2.6 billion to do. Kind of with a little bit with it over because that tuition kind of, increases at different times. But we expect that to be like 2.6 million to what our scholarship are. Right now, I feel pretty good about where our football salaries are, so they won't be in a need. They don't want to hear that. They won't be in a need, immediate need to boost a bunch of salaries unless they keep winning these. Then we probably can talk about it. And so those are the general costs. There'll be some facility things we need to do. That stuff we've already been talking about, and we're going to do it whether we win FCS or FBS either way. So the biggest chunk of it will be the increase in scholarships and cost of attendance, would it be around 2.6. As for lacrosse, one thing, lacrosse is the fastest growing, part of the reason we picked lacrosse, it's the fastest growing high school sport in the state of Tennessee. Nobody's offered it yet because I really don't think some of our SEC partners want to add an additional sport right now. So we kind of got a lead there. We would play the ASUN, our ASUN partnership. ASUN does have cross and fully sponsor that area. They have affiliate members as well. So we would not have to have a different conference affiliation. We can just jump right on in there and play the people that we normally play. And another good thing about a lacrosse thing is we don't have to add a facility. They will share Morgan Brothers Field with the soccer program. And that's not uncommon. That was the same thing that when we went on a visit with the Duke, I showed Dr. LaCar. That's the same thing they do at many places. So the soccer team and lacrosse team would share.
Other questions?
Just a comment. I just want to reiterate what Mike O'Malley said about just your impressive presentation. Just your energy level, enthusiasm goes a long way. But when you back that up with the results you've already had and the future plans, it's just a very impressive job. So way to go.
I'd just like to say the tour that you gave us last night was wonderful. And it's amazing to see how far the athletics division has come in such a short time. When I walked in that softball and baseball clubhouses, I hope that's the correct word, that was amazing. I mean, those player locker rooms look better than some living rooms of people. I mean, it was just fantastic. I mean, the whole collegiate student athlete experience, both inside and outside the classroom. I mean, it's just amazing. And I know it does take a team. And I just want to say thank you. And I was proud Austin P alum at Alabama when we held them to 34 points a couple weeks ago. So, but it does definitely take a team. And I feel like you're a preacher in a church earlier. I just want to stand up and start shouting. Just the energy. And I know it's a challenging environment too, especially over the last couple of years of the pandemic. So thanks for keeping everybody on the main thing, which is to get our students with a transformational experience. Then they can go out, our student athletes, to be active alums as well as contributing to society. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
A tongue in cheek, Gerald, but maybe crewing on the Cumberland, that could be another song.
You know what?
Crewing on the Cumberland.
I like these. So that sounds like that kind of goes. We got to look at that.
What timeline, Gerald, are you talking about from FCS? Obviously, that is in transition. The ASUN football is in transition because of a couple of teams that got away from it. So where do you see that?
Well, I'm sorry, I mean,
You can't, I don't want you to disclose where we might be looking, that's not necessary, but, with those opportunities, could they be in the ASUN or could they be elsewhere?
yes, sir. The timeline is a little bit of an interesting one right now. Next year, 2023, we're definitely compete in what will be the ASUN WAC partnership that we did this year, but a little bit more formalized. So our schedules are very diverse. There's 4 teams that are remaining in the ASUN. We'll play 4 teams from the WAC, and it's across our schedule, 16 conference schedule. That group of presidents they've gotten together and started this partnership with the intent of and thought of potentially moving to FBS as that group. That's a potential spot for us. I think the timeline really is in a perfect world. We'd like to play this season in FCS 23, 24. We'd like to begin the transition. In 25, we'd like to be our first season in FBS football if we can pull it off. Like a dog out there bone right now, I'm gonna pull it off. And then I think that answered both of them. The conference wise, ASUN, yes, can potentially be that. I think there's some schools out there, even a couple schools that have been with us that have left to go to another conference. That I think could all come back into play if the ASUN can prove that we can aggressively move toward FBS.
And I think it's great too that our first year in the ASUN, we're looking at the trophy for football, the very first year. That's amazing.
I'm excited about that. Unlike Jacksonville State, we didn't have to have somebody make ours. And make one. Sorry. He's recording it. I should have said that. Never mind. I'm still me.
It's an exciting time to be a Gov, and Gerald, it's outstanding presentation. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you very much. Let's go, Pete.
Thanks to the rest of the gang back there too. Thank you all for what you do. I'd now like to recognize Trustee May, Chair of the Academic Affairs Committee, to give us a report on the committee meeting.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to present my report from this morning's Academic Affairs Committee meeting. The committee approved minutes from the September 16th, 2022 Academic Affairs Committee meeting. Provost Cronley presented information items related to fall census enrollment, admissions updates for fall 2023, school enrollment overview. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee May, for your report. I'd now like to recognize Trustee Mueller, Chair of the Audit Committee, to give us a report of their committee meeting.
Thank you for the opportunity to present my report from today's audit committee meeting. The committee approved the minutes from the September 16th, 2022 audit committee meeting and audit committee executive session. The committee heard presentations on the following information items. A, internal audit reports issued between August 17th, 2022 and November 4th, 2022 with a list of outstanding audit recommendations. B, Institute of Internal Auditors Principles of Independence and Objectivity. And C, an information technology security update. That concludes my report of the audit committee.
Thank you, Trustee Mueller. Now I'd like to recognize Trustee Canado, Chair of the Business and Finance Committee, to give us a report of their committee meeting.
Thank you so much. The committee met and approved the minutes from the September 16th, 2022 committee meeting. The committee considered and approved 2 action items and that needs consideration of the board. The first of those 2 is the consideration of the October revised budget for the fiscal year 22-23. And the second item is the consideration of the Joe Maynard Field at Hand Park artificial turf installation project. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Canada. Your report included 2 items requiring action of the board. We have a motion for the action on the October revised budget. So moved.
Second.
Motion, I guess, Catherine. Do you have a motion for action on the October revised budget?
Sorry, by direction of the my committee or the committee, I move to approve the October revised budget. Now we need a second, right?
There's a second.
Sorry.
A second.
We don't need a second. From the committee, we don't need a second apparently. Okay.
No vote.
Yeah, since this is a motion of the committee, a second is not required, so we're good there. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Berg,
Yes.
trustee Canada,
Yes.
trustee May,
Yes.
trustee Wheeler,
Yes.
trustee O'Malley,
Yes,
trustee McGinnis,
Yes.
trustee Rowe. One yeses.
thank you. Motion carries. Trustee Canada, do you have a motion for action on the Joe Maynard Field at Hand Park artificial turf installation project?
I absolutely do. You have before you a copy of the Joe Maynard Field at Hand Park artificial turf project information as it was presented to the Business and Finance Committee. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the Joe Maynard Field at Hand Park artificial turf project.
Again, since this is a motion of the committee, a second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Catherine. And thank you for the opportunity to present my report this morning's executive committee meeting. The committee approved the minutes from the September 16th, 2022 executive committee meeting. The committee reviewed and approved one action item, which you approved today by consent. Policy 1.023, compensation. The committee also reviewed and approved one additional action item, which I'll present for your review and action. Before we address this item, President Bakari is asked to step out of the meeting for a minute. So by direction of the executive committee, I move that we approve the proposed president's performance evaluation and incentive plan for fiscal year 22-23. Since this is a motion of the committee, the second is not required. Is there any discussion about this incentive and compensation plan or performance evaluation plan?
I do have one just quick thought. Obviously this year we were a little challenged with timeline because of the pandemic and had to make some adjustments to the timing. So I would hope that next year, when we think about the compensation, that perhaps we get started on it a little bit earlier if timeline allows. So when there is discussion questions like trustee Mueller posed this morning, which were very valid, that we just kind of have somebody from the committee or that did our task force in that to weigh in some on that discussion.
I think that's certainly a good idea, and we'll tweak the incentive plan as needed if we need to. I think that's appropriate. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the plan say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That concludes the executive committee's report. I'll grab Dr. Bakari. Yeah, if you don't mind. We're all smiling, so I guess I can still ask. Yes. I'd like to recognize now Trustee McInnes, Chair of the Student Affairs Committee, to give us a report on their committee meeting. Carrie?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to present my report from this morning's Student Affairs Committee meeting. The committee met and approved the minutes from the September 16th, 2022 committee meeting. There were no other action or information items on the agenda. That concludes my report, sir.
Outstanding job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I aim to please.
Next, moving on to our information items. I'd like to recognize Dr. Carol Clark, Secretary to the Board, to provide background information about the board's self-assessment Carol?
Thank you, Chairman O'Malley. SACS COC standards and the APSU Board of Trustees bylaws require that the board conduct a self-assessment biannually. The survey used for this assessment was approved by the Board of Trustees in September 2018. It was completed by board members in 2018, 2020, and again in November 2022. The responses were collected in Qualtrics, and the identity of the respondent was not revealed. The report of the assessment has been included in the materials, and I will be happy to answer questions about that process. Have any? Melly, I will turn them.
Thank you. I think just a couple of thoughts on self-assessment. One, they are largely, it is largely the opinion of the board, each of the 3 times we've done this, that the board's performance, it's a self-assessment, the board's performance has been largely effective and good with respect to our role at the university. I think one of the things that comes through in the commentary, in addition to the answering the questions that are in the self-assessment, provides an opportunity for some comments. One of the frustrating areas that we all face, and it really showed its face during the presidential selection of Dr. Licari, is the Sunshine Law. It's just, it can be frustrating with our inability at times to visit as a group and talk about business of the university. We're prohibited from doing that outside of a public forum. So that being aside, I think some of us have discussed the possibility of would there be benefit for us and university at large to maybe have a workshop of sorts either prior to our board meetings or annually, however we might design such a thing. So we can talk about, maybe it's a couple of topics at each time, not too broad, but how can we better help university, help you, the administration in the running of the university. We certainly don't want to cross lines. We know what our role is. We don't want to step into your turf, but I think the general idea would be around how can we best or better help you with your role. And I would open it up to my colleagues for any additional thoughts before we move on.
I agree with Chairman O'Malley or Vice Chairman O'Malley. I think it would be beneficial. I noticed one of the items like on page 4, I can't get it to pull up right now, I'm technically challenged. Is about the, it was 50-40-10, if you notice on that one particular question about being involved, more of an overview of the environment, so to speak.
Could be being strongly agreed.
Being strongly
agreed.
Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. And so, and if you look at all the other categories, it was pretty much 60-70% for, 30%. So all that to say is I think there's some benefit there because the last thing I feel like as a trustee that I want to do is be a rubber stamp. And the university is very well run from 30,000 foot all the way down to the granular level. But I think that one thing that would be helpful for for me and for you at the university is for us to kind of have like a work session. I know there's that sunshine law and but if we were able to meet the parameters of the sunshine law to have like a work session, I just think that would be good to do that. Because the last thing that we want to do is have an appearance that we just come in and everything's well scripted and it's done. And there's no complaints on prior performance. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm just trying to think about the future because we also set a precedent for future trustees as well as for other LGIs. So that's my comments, sir.
And I appreciate the interest of the board here. It's very helpful, I think, from the management perspective and administration's perspective. it is my understanding, and I'll look at, Ms. Whiteside here, that, board trainings, information sessions and things like that can always be done. We did a recent workshop in the previous board meeting, this academic year, regarding recruitment and marketing strategies and things like that. We can always be doing additional topics beyond enrollment and recruiting that might be of interest to the board, and do those things along with other kinds of development opportunities and information sharing sessions that we can do outside of a regular meeting.
It's good food for thought, and we can consider it as we go and see where this board assessments might take us. The good news is that the assessments are very, very positive. There were no assessment, no question answered that was negative, and that's a good thing. They even improved over the past couple of assessments. So, good news.
And I'll just make a comment if that's okay too, that I think the board's performance is also indicative of outstanding leadership we have at Austin Peay. I don't think we would self-assess ourselves as well if we didn't have such a great staff to help us maneuver through the process and the school is being well run. I would love to see if it seems like all the information we get for the most part is very positive, very uplifting. I would just like to encourage anybody from school to make it known if there are any issues. Sometimes everything is so wonderful that I wonder if that all of the, like any of their big concerns or risks or anything like that, I think that would be good to roll in each concerns. I know the audit committee report was great. Everything is super clean and awesome, but I'm not opposed to hearing bad news. And I think it creates interest and dialogue and understanding on our part.
Okay. Thank you.
This is just something that I noticed in the written responses is several people mentioned that one of the strengths to the board is the diversity of the people who make up the board. And I think that that's great and I agree on that. But I also noticed one of the weaknesses that was mentioned was that none of us are educators. And I think other than Trustee Berg, who is the only person on this board who's involved in the day-to-day goings on of the university, is the only one other than the student trustee has that perspective. And I understand that the board's purpose is bigger goings on of the university as a whole, but I think having more of a day-to-day perspective could be beneficial to the board in making decisions.
Comments? Okay. Thank you all.
I thought Phil had something. I'm sorry. I thought you were getting ready to say something, Phil.
At this time, then, I'd like to recognize President Licari to give his report and also to report on any interim items. Dr. Licari?
Thank you, Vice Chair O'Malley. We have a lot of upcoming events and activities on campus over the next couple of weeks. Commencement being the key one of them next Friday, December 9th. We will have in December 1,162 students earning a degree credential. So that is phenomenal. And of course, it's the season for all sorts of concerts and receptions and holiday events. The faculty, staff, and retiree reception is during the day on December 8th, and the community reception is in the evening on the 8th as well. The state budget process for higher education kicked off a few weeks ago at the THEC meeting in November. The appropriations recommendations from THEC is for a 13.7% increase for Austin Peay in performance funding. And that's about a little bit more than not quite $9.2 million. That percentage increase, 13.7%, the largest percentage increase of all institutions in the state. Awesome. So we continue to do well, excellent on the performance criteria. So very, very proud of the team that is involved in making sure that our students are making progression towards degree. We've got accredited programs, and do all of the things that the state expects us to do. The commission is also starting the process off with the recommendation of some additional state appropriations beyond the performance funding in order to be able to prioritize somewhere between a 0 and a 3% tuition increase. There's an additional scenario built into that as well that would increase the additional state appropriations further in order to prioritize flat tuition fees. So we'll see where the state lands. I'm just grateful that the commission is starting from a perspective of trying to hold cost increases down for students. I think that's absolutely important. Provost and I talk all the time about challenges that our students have in getting towards degrees. We spent an hour with each other yesterday, in fact, sifting through all of the students that haven't registered yet for the spring semester. They're running into academic challenges, but also financial challenges. So I appreciate what the state's trying to do here in holding us accountable for academic success, but then also trying to help us out in keeping the cost increases down. The last bit of information out of the THEC meeting that recently happened was an approval of their recommendation to improve the funding for our health professions building. Some supplemental request that went back to add to the funding that the state had approved for us last year. That entire list of ranked and unranked projects was approved. Middle Tennessee also had an unranked item like us that needed some additional funding from their prior approval. Clearly, we heard from Mr. Harrison earlier about athletics, but I just wanted to add my own congratulations to our student athletes for their success in the classroom. We had 23 student athletes with a perfect 4.0 GPA for the school year. Those trophies just arrived, and so we had a nice big day, taking pictures of them with all of their hardware. As you heard as well, our student athletes just posted another record NCAA graduation success rate for us. And so very, very proud of what we're doing in the classroom. Congratulations to what the football team was able to accomplish on the field. We're sitting here with that wonderful trophy in front of us. I think we were picked to come in 5th, I think, at the start of the season. So I say we overperformed, beat expectations there, which is always great. And as you heard as well, we have ambitious plans for the future of Austin Peay athletics. The vision is bold, it's achievable, but it is bold, but really, if you don't have a bold vision, then why bother? Regarding the vice president for student affairs search, the search committee has been assembled and it will be chaired by Vice President and Athletics Director Gerald Harrison. Work with that committee will begin right. And then finally, in your packets, list of contracts and agreements that have been executed, as well as state building commission actions that have occurred since the last board meeting. So thank you, and that concludes my remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Licari, for another great report, another great board meeting. A lot of success going on at Austin Peay right now, both athletically and academically, and that's what it's all about. So congratulations to you and the whole team. Any other questions or comments from my colleagues before we wrap things up? Hearing none, that concludes our agenda today. As a reminder, our next regularly scheduled meeting will take place St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 2023. And I move that the meeting adjourn. Is there a second? Moved and seconded, meeting adjourned. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.